Hello, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to another edition of Wrestling Talks and Thoughts. I'm your host, Saheem the Dream.
And you already know, man, it's your boy, the big
The
bad.
Big Bad Booty Daddy!
What's going on? What's going on, sir? What's going on? What we got going on today, man? Did you watch the pay-per-view?
Nah, man, I couldn't, man. I was out the house, man. I had an important engagement to go to, so unfortunately, I'm going to be catching a recap later on or after the live, after we go live. But please fill me in on what happened. Um, uh, Sean was saying that CM Punk was getting booed.
Oh yeah, did he? Oh my god! And he sent a lot of shout. He did a little. He did the. Seeing as you can't see me, he did the you can't see me. Little shoulder tackle. Then he did the.
He's still hating, huh?
Yeah, he did the little.
Cena ain't even talking about him. So why is he hating on him?
I don't know.
Jesus Christ. Punk, let it
know,
go, man.
But yeah, that was a good match. I was surprised. I'm surprised Punk won that. I didn't want him to win, but that was a good match, though.
Who did Punk go against? Of course, CM Punk won. Who did he go against?
Samoa Joe.
He beat Samoa Joe.
Again.
Yeah. Yeah, it seems to be like CM Punk's MO in some of his matches I've been watching. Like he gets beat up the whole match, hit you with 2 moves, and the match is over.
Yeah, that's what it was like. He getting beat up the whole match, and then all of a sudden he hit a little front kick. He hit him with his old move though, the Pepsi plunger. I forgot what it's called, the Pepsi power drive or something. When he pedigrees him off the top rope.
Yeah, CM Punk did a pedigree off the top rope.
Yeah,
I can't with this guy.
Yeah, that's the only way, because he couldn't GTS Joe.
So the guy who hates Triple H steals his move. Is that what happened? Is that what you telling me happened?
That's what happened, man.
Is that what happened? Is that what happened? The guy who hates Triple H finishes off Samoa Joe with his actual finisher.
That's what happened, son.
That's wild.
That's what happened. We had what else? It was a lot of I'm not gonna lie. The whole call was fire, bro. I'm not gonna lie. It was the crowd was in it. MJF and Adam Cole. They're the new Ring of Honor Tag Team Champions.
You said MJF and Adam Cole.
Yeah, they won the tag team titles on the pre-show.
They beat FTR.
They beat Aussie Open. They the Ring of Honor Tag Team Champion.
Oh, Ring of Honor. I'm bugging. Ring of Honor. Okay. Because
they're Ring of Honor Tag Team Champion. So that makes Adam Cole a Grand Slam Ring of Honor champion because he never won the tag title before.
I see that they're trying to build towards their feud with those two guys going back and forth. Samoa Joe and MJF. So what else happened? Okay, wait, hold up. Before we go forward. What is this AEW title that CM Punk is walking around with spray painted with an X on it?
That's the title that he never lost. And then he put the X, for straight edge society. I'm assuming that's for straight edge society. And he's calling himself the real world champion. So every match he has,
yeah,
every match that he has
is the actual world championship match, not the one that MJF have. Yeah. Because in all reality, CM Punk runs AEW and not Tony Khan, so he doesn't. Tony Khan doesn't have the legal right to tell him when he is and when he's not champion. Because according to CM Punk is still champion.
He's still the champion.
Stripped of the title.
Never stripped of the title. He never lost. So that's his thing right now. He's going around every match he had. So far, he's defended against Ricky Starks, or Samoa Joe today. Yeah, he's on a little run now. They're gonna cross paths sooner or later, him and MJF.
So in other words, he's running the same he did in WWE.
Yeah.
By him and John Cena.
Yeah, just a little bit different, you know. They're just not crossing paths and having promos with each other. They're sending little jabs here and there. One week, you know, MJF ain't sending no jab. Well, MJF is involved in the with the Adam Cole, and that still look like it's going to continue. He might have another match at all out.
Yo, he's literally reliving his past. This is the thing. I know we had this conversation a while back, but I said this before, and I'm gonna say it again. Some people who are stars, like when they reach stardom or they come into stardom and they blossom into stardom, like if they did it once, they'll do it again, or they'll always keep a strong fan base, and then there'll always be a resurgence of why they were such a great superstar, or what made them so great. You always get a resurgence of that. Like with Punk, it's like what happened for him in WWE was just that moment. And a lot of us fans are in reminiscence of it because right now he's still reliving what happened, and it seems like he can't recapture it. But nonetheless, we'll talk about that after you finish running down the pay-per-view. Don't want to disrupt, but that's just my take.
Yeah, we had that. Also on the pre-show, Hook got rid of Jungle Boy and got his FTW title back. What else happened? We did get a kangaroo kick during the Ring of Honor Tag Team title match. MJF did do the kangaroo kick. That was the spot of the match. Kangaroo kick. What else happened?
Okay.
It was a big call. Oh, Soraya. Soraya won the women's title, also known as WWE fans. Y'all know as Paige.
Wait, she won what title?
The AEW women's title.
Word.
Yeah, she won in front of her country, you know, in front of her family, her whole family. She had the fire entrance too. She came out to "We Are the Champions." That was fire.
Oh, I gotta watch that. That's crazy.
Yeah, she won the women's championship. FTR and the Young Bucks. To me, that was probably the second best match of the night. I wouldn't even say the main event was the best match of the night.
So Jay said, it's definitely old WWE CM Punk, who's the real champ vibe. He said as far as CM Punk holding that title. And then Jay says some people aren't creative; they just recycle gimmicks and ideas.
That's true.
Indeed.
But yeah, I wouldn't even say that was the match of the night. The match of the night for me was either between Jericho and Will Ospreay, or the Bucks and FTR. Bullet and the surprise of the night for me, the upset of the night, Bullet Club Gold beating Kenny and Hangman and Ibishu, Kota Ibishu.
It was for the trios title. It was for the trios title, right?
No, that was just a regular 6-man. That was like for bragging rights, for Bullet Club rights and stuff like that. Yeah. So that was the feud between Kenny and the new dude. I keep forgetting his name. That's with Don Callis, man, the big Japanese dude. But Kenny got a feud with him, and then Jay White and Kenny got a feud going back all the way to New Japan when Kenny asked Jay White to go on the Bullet Club. And then you got Juice, he's Bullet Club. And you got Hangman, he's the Elite, and Ibishi was Golden Lovers. So it was like all bigger. It was like a big pot of just all drama in one. But yeah, Don Callis' family and the Bullet Club Gold won that match. I was surprised. Kenny got pinned. Kenny got pinned
for the win.
No, for the loss. Yeah. Kenny got pinned. Yeah, that's what I was surprised. I was surprised the Elite didn't get no victories in their biggest show. I was surprised. I thought they were going to beat FTR. There was a moment where I'm like, yo, there's no way FTR is kicking out of this. They was kicking out of everything.
But it was a fatal 4-way match, right?
What it was just FTR against the Young Bucks.
Oh, okay. But FTR won. You said FTR won, right?
Yeah, FTR winning. It was a good match. Yo. It was like a 35-minute banger. I'm not gonna lie. It was a good match, yo. Good match. We seen some moves I never thought Cash Wheeler could do. I didn't know he could do 450s and do cruiserweight stuff, yo. I didn't know he could do shit like that.
Who?
Cash Wheeler.
Oh, Cash Wheeler? He was doing what? 450 splashes?
Yeah, off the
word.
Yeah, or like springboard 450s.
Oh wow.
Yeah, he did a springboard 450, but he missed. That's when I thought they were gonna lose. I'm like, oh yeah, it's over now. I'm like, it's over. But they came back and won, man. Came back and won. It was a good match, but my match of the night, if you ask me, the match of the night was Jericho against Ospreay. Jericho went back in the vote on this match. He didn't look like no 51-year-old man, you know. And I was saying in the group, how are you gonna perform and then wrestle right after this? Man, it's 51 years old, man. They asking for him to do a lot tonight. But yeah, that was a good match, yo.
Oh, so Jericho picked up the pace this time around.
Yeah. Will Ospreay made him look good. I was telling people, Will Ospreay is the greatest wrestler alive right now.
Well, Ospreay's always been an amazing wrestler. Like what's the guy named Ricochet?
Yeah.
They always give you like a highlight, some kind of great highlight.
Yeah,
in their matches.
The crowd was behind Ospreay, and he was hitting Jericho, hitting Frank Hurricane Rana's out of nowhere, looking like Y2J. I'm like, yo, Jericho looked good in this match. Ospreay was really selling for him too, though. But there was a lot of move. Ospreay proved himself tonight. So, he's a free agent in 6 months, man. A lot of people gonna have their eye on Ospreay. But yeah, I think that was my match of the night. The main event was good. It was a lot of drama, a lot of who's gonna turn on who moments, and nobody pulled the trigger in the match. Really, it was a chance. It was a spot in the match where MJF pulled out the dynamite ring. He was gonna punch Cole with it, then he just puts it back. And then Roddy comes out and tries to tell Cole. He low blows MJF. That's when I thought it was over. He kicked MJF in the nuts, and then Adam Cole hits him with the Panama Sunshine. Referee knocked out. I'm like, oh, come on. I'm like, oh my god. It was a lot of dramatic moments in the match. We thought MJF was gonna lose, but yo, if he's going along like this, I'm telling you right now, he has the crowd in his hands, bro.
Wait, hold on. So did MJF and Cole fight 2 matches?
Yeah.
So they fought for the Ring of Honor tag titles, and then they fought 1-on-1.
Yeah. They fought on the pre-show, and then they fought at the main event.
Oh wow.
Yeah. And they put on a banger match too. Everybody said that was the match of the night, but mine was Cole. Ospreay and Jericho. I kind of like that match better. But it was a good match, though. MJF won with a roll-up at the end. Everybody's kind of mad at the finish. Henry was mad at the finish. Him and Trav, they didn't like the finish.
Oh, they felt like he should have won with something a little bit more dynamic, like his finish. Well, that is the most devastating move in all of sports entertainment. It is the roll-up or the schoolboy pin,
Yeah, schoolboy pin is dangerous. It's very dangerous.
Everybody has lost to a schoolboy pin. I don't care who you are. I think Goldberg has even lost. As a matter of fact, did Brock Lesnar ever lose?
And if you watch AEW, a lot of their matches end like that. So I wasn't surprised.
What, schoolboy pin?
Yeah, a lot of their matches end like that.
See, that's the thing. They take that like Bret Hart angle. Like Bret Hart had a philosophy about that when it came to his matches. He was like, when he fought Owen Hart, he had a philosophy about that match. He was like, all right, Owen's gonna win, but Owen's not gonna win in the way you expected him to win when they fought at WrestleMania 10. Yeah. And he was like, instead of having me tap out or Owen tap out, which is both our finishes, Owen would beat me in a clever way, which would be a pin. And it was like the same thing with British Bulldog. Like instead of having British Bulldog actually lose, instead of having Bret Hart actually lose to, I forgot what Bulldog's finisher was.
The running power slam.
Yeah, instead of them actually losing to the signature move, he beat him just in a clever way. Like he just out wrestled Bret.
Yeah,
which I thought was pretty dope. So that was like Bret's kind of like philosophy is like it's kind of like people expect it to end this way, but instead of ending that way, it's going to end this way.
Yeah.
So that's kind of like Bret's thing. Well, I know it's not. I know it's not like his philosophy, but he's one of the people I've heard speak upon like ending like matches and calling matches and spots and stuff like that.
Yeah. I'm trying to think. They had a big car. Oh, that Stadium Stampede match was crazy.
And that was like was that like a Royal Rumble?
That's like a street fight, 2 teams. I think it was 9-on-9. I think it was 9-on-9.
9-on-9? And like a no, like was it like a
6-on-6? I'm sorry.
Was this like a brawl for like a nine, so it was a 9-on-9?
No, it was six
Like,
on six. Six
I'm
on
sorry.
six.
Okay, 606. I'm like, that's a lot of people, yo. You might as well just make it a Royal Rumble. So, was it like all six people just going at each other like in a hardcore style match?
It was the
Or was it
teams. It was the Blackpool Combat Club. That's Moxley, Cesaro, and Willa Yuta. And they had on their team, they had Santana, Ortiz, and I forgot who else. I think they had somebody else on their team, if I'm not mistaken. No, it might have been 5-on-5. Okay, yeah, I think it was 5-on-5. But I don't remember nobody else. And they went against Eddie Kingston, the Best Friends, Orange Cassidy, and Penta. Penta, yeah, Penta, Nero. And he had a spot in the match where he changed clothes during the match. That shit was crazy.
Why did he change clothes?
He turned into Evil Penta during the match. That was fire though. You laughing, but it was fire. And, like the music, like his music hit, and everybody like, who the hell is this? I'm like, oh, what the hell? And he comes out in all red and shit. And he hits
You talking about Pentagon Jr.?
Yeah, Pentagon Jr. Yeah, and he comes out and he hits Santana with a Canadian destroyer through the table off the ladder.
Oh wow.
Yeah.
Okay, I gotta watch this. Pay-per-view.
Yo, Moxley had the craziest spot of the night, yo. They put acupuncture needles in his head, bro.
Okay.
And Penta put needles in his head and just kept beating him on the head with the needles, bro. And you just see the blood just flowing out of that. And then he just suplexes him on it. I'm like, oh my goodness, this dude Moxley's nuts, bro.
See, my thing about Moxley is like, my thing about, you know what? I'm thinking about it, and I'm realizing that Moxley is all hardcore. Like he just wants to be like the next hardcore legend, because he's doing like most of his, like, to me it's like a Moxley match ain't a Moxley match unless he's bleeding.
Yeah, he bleeds every match. He gotta bleed, bro.
It's like he likes to bleed.
He likes to bleed.
Like most of his matches, he's bled. Most of his pay-per-view matches, you could say, right?
Yeah. And then there was so many spots in this match where he just kept bleeding. Like, they had a spot in the match where Orange Cassidy put glass on his hand. He had glass on his hand.
Okay.
On his taped up fist, and was punching people. I'm like, oh my goodness.
So it was like pretty bloody.
Yeah, this match was bloody, bro. A lot of barbed wire, a lot of tables. They went all the way to the 200 sections in the crowd, bro.
Well, isn't that like all the way in the back?
Yeah.
They went all the way up. That's like up there.
Yeah, yo.
It's like they walked all the way that they walked that high.
Yo, bro, in Wembley Stadium, bro.
This is wild. Okay.
Yeah, it was a wild man. It was the best one I've seen. It was the best Stadium Stampede match I think they had so far. They had two, and the first one was alright, but that second one was But this one right here, Moxley and Willa Yuta with that acupuncture needle spot, that spot was crazy. I never seen nothing like that. I was cringing in my seat. I'm like, oh no. I'm like, bro, it's like attempted murder on TV.
Wow.
Yeah, it was a lot of good. And Eddie, there's a lot of spots in there, man. I can't wait to see Eddie and Moxley, man. I can't wait because there's a lot of beef in that match, man. Going on with that feud with Eddie. Eddie got a lot of beef in that, man. He got beef with Claudio Castagnoli. He got beef with Moxley now. Santana and Ortiz joined up with them, so he got beef with them. He already got beef with Willa Yuta. And yeah, it's gonna be him and Moxley. That's gonna be the bloodiest match ever, bro. It happened before, like Henry said, that match happened already, but it's different now. It's more of a story now. But they were best friends and this and that, and then Moxley turned heel, and then Santana and Ortiz was his boys, and then they turned their back on him. Him and Claudio Castagnoli had beef for over 12 years now. So it was like, yeah. So he's about to get real with Eddie. Eddie about to have his moment in AEW. But yeah, though, it was a good show. Yo, I'm not gonna lie, it was a damn good show. I'm trying to think what else happened. Oh, Sting, Sting being Sting. I forgot about Sting. Sting and Darby won. in a coffin match. Sting. He got it ain't a coffin match unless Sting throw himself to a table. Sting got thrown. He got thrown, so he got to take a nap. Jeff Hardy
Yeah.
nap.
That old man. He old.
Yeah.
That's what you know. He old. He's sitting there snoozing once he gets like it's like the match starts, Sting comes out on fire. He hits a few people with his bat. It does whatever. Throws a few clotheslines, and all of a sudden somebody hit him with a big spot. You don't see him for like 50% of the match after that, like big spot, and he pops up out of nowhere, does a little 1-2 thing, and then I'm gonna pull up the match card. AEW All In.
Yeah, pull up the match card. I could do it better, but I know Sting. I'm not gonna lie to. He had a spot where he tried to jump through the table. The table didn't break. He had to go back up and climb up again. First, he tried to climb up the ropes, and he thought about it, came down, and just was like, "Oh, I'm gonna just jump off the apron." Yeah. He just jumped off.
All right,
the
so
apron.
the first match we have MJF and Adam Cole defeat MJF Adam Cole versus with Aussie Open.
Mm-hmm. Aussie Open.
Is that the name of the people they battled?
They from United Empire. Yeah, they from United Aussie Empire. Open? They in the faction with Will Ospreay, Jeff Cobb, and a couple other people. TJ, remember TJ Perk? Remember that was in WWE? He used to come out with the video game gimmick. He was on Cruiserweights.
Yeah.
He's part of a tag team in New Japan. The junior, they like the junior tag team division in New Japan. He's part of that crew.
Oh, they came out. He came out with the belt. He had the belt with him.
Who?
The New Japan belt. TJ Perkins.
You talking? He wasn't on the card tonight.
Oh, okay.
But he's a part of their whole faction with Aussie Open, Will Ospreay, Jeff Cobb, TJ Perkins, and a couple other people.
Wait, so he's part of a group called the Aussie Open?
Nah, the group is called United Empire. It's from people all from different countries.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, that's all foreigners.
Are they in New Japan, or are they just like in the indie circuit?
They're in the indie circuit. They're mostly heavy New Japan. And Will Ospreay is the leader. He's the leader of that faction, Will Ospreay.
Okay. What about so you got Hook and Jack Perry for the FTW championship?
Yeah, I get that. That was like a 5. I get that 5.
So he's still wrestling. So they still wrestling with that ugly belt. I see.
Yeah. They're supposed to retire it. I guess they didn't have enough room for the segment last week. They were supposed to get retired. Jungle Boy was supposed to retire the belt.
I don't know why. I don't know why. What is his name? Taz brought it out of retirement.
Hey, they letting the inmates run the asylum over there, bro.
But it's like, why? Yeah, Yeah, let's all right. Let's talk about that after we get to this card real quick.
All right.
Best. So you have you had CM Punk versus Samoa Joe.
I get that at 8.5.
Real World's Championship. You said
that was an 8.5.
8.5. You have Bullet Club Gold defeating the Bullet Club Elite.
8.2.
So Bullet Club Gold is who, and Bullet Club Gold Elite is who?
All right, Bullet Club Gold is Jay White, Rock Hard Juice Robinson, and the Bang Bang Gang, Austin and Colton Gunn.
Okay. And who's Bullet Club Elite?
Hangman, Kenny, Matt, Nick, Marty, Cody.
Okay, so but who's Bullet Club?
Dave Finley, Tonga, all of them. Everybody's Bullet Club, but they all had their own little crews in Bullet Club. Like you had Tonga and Hikalo, they was the Gorillas of Destruction. They was GOD. Everybody know them as GOD, but they was the Bullet Club enforcers, like the Hitmen. Everybody had their own was Bullet Club, but they always had their own individual cliques inside of Bullet Club. You know what I'm saying?
We got H on YouTube. He says
that's Henry. That's Henry.
Oh, that's Henry. Okay, Henry. You got come on, man. You got to give us a more creative name than H. He says they say AEW is
better than WWE.
He says 8 out of 10. I guess he's going for that match. BCG versus the Elite. Wait, hold on, Henry. Who says AEW is better than WWE.
I said that.
You is that you and Sean again? Is that wait? Was it you and Sean that said it, or just you?
Just me. I just said the competition wise is neck and neck. I ain't say business wise or money. WWE's gonna make more money regardless. But ring and competition wise, lately AEW's been neck and neck with them. It's like they do a show and then SmackDown will come out with a banger, then Raw will come out with a banger, then Dynamite be a banger.
I would say this. I would say the wrestling is better.
Yeah,
I'll say the wrestling, what they're able to do in the ring is a lot better, but the production quality in WWE is
yeah,
a
that's what
way
I mean.
way
Yeah,
better.
the
Production quality better.
production is way better in WWE. The promotion, the promos, all that is better.
But what I found out to be very interesting is that so Jericho made an interesting comment to what's his name to Will Ospreay when they were cutting a promo on Collision, and he says to him, he says he gave him a call and he was talking to Will Ospreay and he was saying like, you got talent, kid. He said you're gonna make it into business, you're gonna be really big. He said, but you need to slow down in the ring. He said if you want to keep more years in your wrestling career.
Yeah,
And when in that comment, and what he means, so if some of you guys listening and don't know what that means, what it means is that he's a high flyer. He takes a lot of risk in his movements in the ring. And one thing WWE definitely does is that like the reason why you don't see a lot of Ricochet wrestling and you don't see Ricochet doing all the stuff he did in the Indies on the main roster is simply because WWE makes you it make you slow down. They make you slow down because they don't want you to get injured. They do that intentionally. Now I know a lot of us is like, yo, why are you doing that? Why are you, but the truth of the matter is the truth of the matter is like wrestling in the ring automatically takes about 10 to 15 years off your career automatically. Like once you wrestle for like 5 or 6 years, you can definitely bet that you already have 10 to 15 years cut off of your like physical in-ring capacity. The fact, if you ever look at Ric Flair wrestle, like, and you always wonder why Ric Flair never did anything like over the top. He never did any high risk moves, and they call them high risk moves because they jump over the top and they put their body on the line to perform this move. When they land on another performer, or when they land on the mat, because again when they jump off the top, and if that person moves out the way and they hit the mat, that mat is very hard. Just as hard as the concrete is just as hard as that mat is. So when they do those high risk moves, it takes a lot out of them. Ric Flair was always the guy who never did that stuff. That's the reason why Ric Flair is like what 520 years right now, and he can still wrestle in the ring.
yeah.
And not, you know what I'm saying? Like, yeah, Ric Flair hardly been. I mean, Ric Flair has injuries, but Ric Flair never really been out on injuries because he never really took a lot of risk in the ring. He
Yeah,
never, and it's so, but that's the thing. WWE makes you cut out a lot of the risk, makes you keep a lot of things on a mat. They don't really go for a lot of high risk moves. They see a lot of fancy moves. They're like, all right, that's cool, but save it for a pay per view.
yeah.
Don't do it all the time.
You see,
Do
they
it one
toned down with AJ Styles. AJ Styles' whole wrestling style switched when he came to WWE.
completely. But and the funny thing about it is that right, very true. Funny enough, even though AJ Styles was always AJ Styles in TNT, I mean, sorry, in TNA, I said TNT and TNA. I mean, he was consistent though. He was always usually out there most of the time.
Yeah,
But it's funny because now he slowed down and he's getting more injured, which is weird. I mean, well, not as injured as much, but he's still like, he's not. It's like it's so funny. It's like he's out on injury now, and then in like TNA, you can always see like you was bound to see him like every night. Most times, you would see him. For me, every time I tuned in, I rarely seen him. Like there
yeah,
was times he would come out, but he wasn't always there. But there was times he was there, but it could definitely put a lot on you though.
a lot.
Henry says, "No, no, they're not
Yeah,
elite.
we
He's
know
elite."
the elite is the elite, but out of the Bullet Club, they are the elite ones.
He says now. Henry says, "No, we have better wrestlers." He says that WWE has better wrestlers.
Bro, you go
AJ,
draft five of your favorite of your top WWE, and I'll draft my five from AEW. We could do
mhm.
a draft on the next show. On the next AEW show, I'll do a draft with Henry. A 5 man, and then we let the audience and the group pick which team they think will be better.
All right, that'll work. You Henry, you down? You and Ant do a draft, and then we everybody decides whose team is better. DJ Faye says, "I'm waiting for Henry. Henry going to respond." Uh, DJ Faye says CM Punk put in pause on wrestlers again backstage, shaking my head. What happened again?
Yo, I didn't check my dirt sheet, and I believe it. Why not? I believe it.
Wait, so DJ, you saying like literally like after this All In event, he had another fight backstage?
Yo, Henry gotta go check that. Go check that out for Marty.
Let me see. Matter of fact, I'm about to Google this right now. Let me see what happened, man. If that's the case, they need to get rid of him, yo. Toxic, yo.
I had a feeling when I seen all 8 matches was back to back, something was gonna happen. I said, well, it's kind of close with Punk. They're gonna have to pass him in the hallway.
Wow. CM Punk and Jack Perry embroiled in reported shoot fight at AEW All In.
Wow.
CM Punk and Jack Perry reportedly got physical in a backstage altercation at All In. Yo, come on, dog. Yo, he gotta go. He gotta go.
You know what's crazy? That's his second altercation with Jack Perry.
And this is after the fight with the Elite.
Yeah. All In was tonight. And Jack Perry was on the pre-show. For him to still even be in the building, I thought wrestlers usually go home after they match.
He said, "Yep, Jungle Boy." So Jungle Boy. So what is this beef with Jungle Boy?
All right, the first time they had a match, there was a spot where Jungle Boy wanted to use like real glass or something like that, real something, and Punk was against it.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
So and then I guess that shit led to a little confrontation they had, and then now this. That's basically what the first incident was about. It was about a spot. It's something where Jungle Boy wanted to use. I think it was glass, like real glass, real something, and Punk was like, "Nah, I'm not doing that." Like something, blah blah blah. You know how Punk is. Like, I'm 44 years old. What I look like?
My question is, who threw the first punch? Was it Punk or was it Jungle Boy?
I'm gonna go with Jungle Boy.
So Jungle Boy changed his name from Jungle Boy to Jack Perry.
Yeah, that's his real name. You know, that's Luke Perry's son from
really?
90210 or whatever that show was.
You serious?
Yeah.
You lying?
I'm dead serious.
You serious?
Look it up.
All right. Word. Let me see. Let me look this up.
Look it up, man.
All right, let's see. It's Jungle Boy. Jungle Boy is the son of Luke Perry. God.
Told you.
Wow. Jungle Boy is the son of Luke Perry. This is wild. So, I want to know who threw the first punch. This is crazy.
This is breaking news. You heard it first right here on Wrestling Talks and Thoughts.
You were hearing it first on Wrestling Talks and Thoughts. CM Punk back at it again, fighting backstage talent. Jungle Boy. Yo, Punk. Yo, I want to know.
I guarantee Punk doesn't get in trouble for this. Jungle Boy. Warner Brothers is the reason why I see it. That's the only reason why CM Punk is back at AEW is Warner Brothers, bro. He got Warner Brothers in his back pocket, bro. He can do whatever he wants, huh?
CM Punk?
Yeah.
I'm gonna tell you right now.
He's sonning Tony Khan, and he got Warner Brothers telling in his ear, like, "Yo, listen, you go up there and just make us get ratings."
You know what it is. Real quick, we got Henry in the house, Mr. Hen Duce,
yes, sir.
Duce in the house.
Look, I'm here to argue, man. Cause he's look. Before y'all continue with CM Punk, man. CM Punk has ratings, but this man was saying he's top 5. Because I had to look for my headphones out here. He said it's top 5 versus my top 5.
We're gonna do a draft.
Let's go.
Let's go. First episode of the All Elite episode, we're gonna do a draft. The first episode of All Elite.
Right. Look.
And we're gonna let the audience and the crew members in the group decide which 5 is better. We're gonna do a poll. Keep it up for 1 week.
All right, let's do that.
That's fine.
Let's do that.
That's
let's
fine.
do it. Okay, so we'll get back to that. We just want to continue this real quick. What were we talking about?
CM Punk beat up what's his name? Jungle Boy.
So did he beat him up or did they just have a fight?
They're saying that Jungle Boy came up to him after I don't know, was it before the first card or after CM Punk's match?
Uh-huh.
And then they took Jungle Boy. He left the arena while CM Punk stayed until the main event.
But did they say that CM Punk beat him up?
Nah, I don't know. That's what they're saying on Twitter and shit.
Okay. All right. So this is the thing, right? And this is what I want to talk about. This is what I want to touch on concerning that fight, right? With CM Punk and him not getting fired. So CM Punk has this fight with Jungle Boy, right?
Yeah.
And then you had CM Punk who had this fight with the elite, right? With the EVPs, Matt and Nick, right? And this whole confrontation, right? So the reason why, and this is what I heard, and what's his name? He brings up some interesting points. The guy with the glasses. He's real brash. What's the dude name? He has his own podcast. Not Don Collis.
Brandon Cutler?
Shoot, what is his name?
Not
Brandon Cutler.
Oh.
He has a wife, and they reportedly they were like a swinging couple at one point. People were like, there were rumors of them being like swingers or something. He wears glasses. He does like a podcast, and every time on YouTube, when you click on his videos, he always have like a cartoon image of the wrestler and somebody else. What is his name? Oh my God!
I don't know what you're talking about. I'm trying to think.
You know what I'm talking about, but you know what I'm talking about when I mention his name. Jeez, what is his name? Oh my God! Jeez, what's his name? Wait. Jeez. He's always doing like podcasts doing like other wrestlers and stuff or talk.
Not Chris Van Vliet, right?
He's older guy. He wears glasses. He used to work for the WWE. He used to be a writer.
He used to be the manager too, right? Undertaker too, right? You talking about with the pink face?
Yeah. Right.
Brother Love.
Yeah, right. What's his name?
No, not him. No, he's still with the WWE.
He's still with him.
No, that's Bruce Pritchard. That's Bruce Pritchard.
Yeah, that's Bruce Pritchard. No, but that's not what we said.
No, but he looks like Bruce Pritchard a little. But he don't look. You know what I'm talking about though.
Jim Cornette.
Jim Cornette. There we go.
Right,
that guy. Right. There we go. Jim Cornette. So Jim Cornette brought up an interesting point. He says that the reason why Tony Khan can't fire CM Punk is because he would sue him. He could sue him. And he was like, he can sue him because of the contract that he signed. And he can sue him because he brings up an interesting point. The truth of the matter is that, not the truth, but from what the rumor is that CM Punk threw the first punch, right? But CM Punk can easily lie and say, they came in, they stormed into his room, they threw the first punch at me, them being EVPs, managers or owners of the company, assaulted me, a talent. He can sue. And in that itself, right, he can take it to court, file a lawsuit for one, assault, for two, being assaulted by a boss or a manager. And it was like somehow, some way, he can come out with some money. So that's the reason why they worked out some kind of deal with CM Punk, from what I heard. Don't know how true it is. Truth of the matter is, I know CM Punk, if anything, would sue because he's that petty. He would sue. Even if he was wrong, he would sue. He would completely sue because that's just CM Punk. Because it won't be his fault because he spoke his mind and he spoke the truth. And regardless of how you felt, and even if he did it at the wrong time and he shouldn't have done it, he's always right. And I think that's the reason why they're like doing what they're doing. But no, there has to be some repercussions for that. There's got to be.
I'm telling you, there's not, son. He got Warner Brother in his pocket, bro.
Nah, somebody's got to do something.
And and then the Bucks can't even speak on this situation. I don't even think.
I think
this is where the EVP step in. You understand?
I think, man, it's part of the contract, man. CM Punk played this smart, man. CM Punk really played this smart. Everybody wanted him to come back to wrestling, and CM Punk had to, he understood the assignment, man. He thought about what happened in WWE, where WWE fired him and he couldn't do shit.
Yeah.
So now when it comes to AEW, now he has more freedom. Look what they did. Look what Hulk Hogan did with WCW. Creative control. Vince, he didn't have that with Vince's contract. He had that with WCW, man. It's the same thing as Cody Rhodes, man. Cody Rhodes didn't go to WWE for no reason. Cody Rhodes has something in his contract. So in the future he's gonna win the WWE title. It ain't, you know what I'm saying? These people, these wrestlers that y'all think, oh, they're not doing the way they're doing, or they're doing something else. No, they got something in the back of the pocket. They got something in that contract. So I mean, the elite, man. Now that when they renegotiate their contracts, they can get something more than that. But the elite is whack, so they ain't gonna do shit. So.
Yo, we're not doing that. You do that when you talk to.
Nah. Yeah, we in AEW. I told you I came here to argue, man. I came here to argue.
This is all elite hour, bro.
We came, all elite wrestling, not all elite.
And them people you talking about ain't all elite.
The all elite. Ooh, I know they're not all elite. They whack. Yeah. I don't know why they're called the elite. They're not even the elite.
You know why they're called elite, man. Don't stop. Don't stop.
Man. They not. Wait, look. All right. Back to these ratings, man. I think the host, something happened to their host's camera, man. He back. He back.
Yo, was you getting bad connection, Henry, for the show?
Yeah, man. That's why I had to rewatch them. I'm about to rewatch some of the matches. Yeah, so far, I rated the first match was 8 out of 10.
What first match?
The Elite versus Bullet Club Gold was a 7 out of 10. What was the second? What was the match after that?
Oh, look, this just came in. Tony Khan just announced a new pay-per-view in October dedicated to Antonio Inoki called Wrestle Dream. So I guess that's another Forbidden Door pay-per-view with New Japan. October 1st in Seattle.
Is that supposed to be the pay-per-view for that month?
I guess so.
The other
Warner Brothers has been requesting for more pay-per-views. So
what in a month?
But this back-to-back pay-per-view stuff is crazy. They got all.
What do you mean, like
next week is all out?
What? And then what? And then after that, then what?
Grand Slam.
No, that's not a pay-per-view. The Grand Slam is not a pay-per-view. That's just a free TV.
Yeah, it's it's a free preview.
And that's what I hate about it. That's the only thing I hate about AEW is that they do that. Like, they can use these special dynamites, and they can turn them into pay-per-views. Like Blood and Guts, that could be a pay-per-view. Grand Slam, that could be a pay-per-view. When Cody had the rights for Bash at the Beach, I thought that was going to be a pay-per-view. But no, they did it as a free TV special. That's whack, man. To me, that's whack. That means, to me, it's I know they want to be different and everything, but that's just they could turn that into it and make it, make them money, make them must see. Right now, this All In. I don't know if they're gonna use it as their Super Bowl, but they should. All In should be their Super Bowl because All In, it made me try to tune back in. But the back-to-back, the only reason I think the back-to-back is because they do All Out at Labor Day weekend, so it makes sense. But
that is true. All In should definitely be there. Should be there like their WrestleMania.
Well, they announced next year they're gonna go back to Wembley. They announced at the end of the show it's gonna be the same thing next year. And shout out to Sasha Banks too. Mercedes Moné was in the crowd. They kept showing her.
Is she joining AEW?
I don't know. They at
That's a
the
bad
press
move.
conference, Tony
It's a
said
bad move. It's a
Tony
bad
Khan
move.
did say at the press conference though, yeah, and Sasha and then Soraya was like, yeah, she can't wait for her to come in.
She's going to AEW. She's going to sign.
It's a bad move. Bad
It
move.
is a bad move. It is a
Bad
bad
move.
move because she's already
Bad
a
move.
major superstar in WWE, and it's like you're going to leave. You're going to leave the big time to AEW.
It's a,
AEW is working their way up there. But they sold out all in, right?
Yeah,
They sold out, right? They sold out. Yeah.
81,000. Yeah, 81,107.
They're getting there. They're getting there. All AEW has to do is stay consistent. If AEW just increase their production quality and their character development, well, the character development is good, but it's just that they just need better ring attire or just have better
production, like you
better
said.
presentation and ring attire. Then and they just work on a little bit more of their character development. Yeah, they'll be there. They'll be there. They just need to
Yeah.
tweak a little things.
Yeah. I think, yeah, you're right. I think like the production, like Ann was saying, I'm picking and choosing. Not, I mean,
You
me, I'm like a
do.
fan of. I'm a fan. I'm a fan like the entrance. I'm a big fan of entrance. I'm a big fan of the stage.
Mhm.
The all in stage. At first, I was like, man, they're copying WWE, but it was low key different for me because if you see the tunnel they was coming out of it, it
Mhm.
had screens, LED screens. You know, that was dope. Like the screen, like the tunnel from the
Mhm.
stage was fucking
Yeah.
screens, and that shit was dope. I love that. But the music, you can barely hear it. I don't know if that's just me, but you can barely hear it.
It's an
That
outside
music,
stadium, bro.
bro, no, because WWE did
Nah,
the same thing. WWE
nah,
does the
nah,
same
B.
thing.
Nah, and nah, you can't,
Nah, you
nah, and
can't. See, look how he's picking and choosing. Look. He always says
nah,
Picking
no,
and
and
but
choosing, bro. You
look,
picking out
he's
the
gonna say
you picking out the
no,
small parts. You picking
no,
out the
bro.
small parts of the show, bro.
Bro. I
Nobody
can
pays
look,
attention to that.
look. A
Like,
lot of people do. A
don't,
lot of people
no,
do. A
they
lot of people
don't.
do.
They
A
didn't
lot of
come
people
here to
do.
hear that.
A lot of people do. You just mad that I'm coming
You
here.
talking to
I'm coming here. I
AEW
said I'm
fans
coming
right
here to
now.
argue, bro. I
I'm
said I'm
trying to
coming here to
save you
argue.
from the comments. Those are AEW
AEW,
fans in the
no, they
comments, bro.
not. No, they
Yes,
not.
they
They can
are.
come. They can come, and I'm gonna go ahead and counter them with facts. But I'm saying I'm a big fan. Remember, I'm a big fan of big entrance. The music was low to me. I don't know if it was low to anybody else. You know,
What
the only
about
ones, the
Soraya's
only one.
entrance?
Listen. The only ones was Soraya. Uh, Will's was pretty loud. Jericho's was loud, and then Adam Cole and MJF. Those are the loud ones. But the
The
rest,
acclaim
man,
was. What about the acclaim?
I didn't watch it. I didn't watch
Oh
it. That's
yeah,
the only one that I skipped. That's the only one that I skipped.
the House of Black did a Bray Wyatt tribute.
Yeah, that one was beautiful.
Mm.
But I'm saying
Oh
like
wow.
that, the presentation, is what AEW is missing. And the wrestling, which is AEW has more botches than WWE. I'm surprised the Fatal 4-Way was not botch fest.
You know
Fatal
what?
4-Way was
You know what, Henry? I don't mean to interrupt you, but you are absolutely right, and that's one of the things that WWE tells them. That's one of the reasons. That's another reason why they tell them to slow down, is to avoid a lot of botching.
There wasn't no botch fest tonight, Henry.
there was,
Cut
bro.
that out, bro.
There
Which
was there
match?
was
Which match
there
was a
was a
botch fest?
couple. There wasn't a botch fest, but there was a couple botches,
Name,
man.
pick out
You
one.
don't want to pick them out, man.
You don't want
The
to pick
elite,
them
the
out when
Bullet Club versus
Shotzi.
the Bullet,
Listen,
ain't
when
nobody look
Shotzi,
how he goes
when
back. Look how he
Shotzi
goes back. Look how he
Botsi,
goes back. How he goes back to Shotzi, and
Shotzi Botchi, when
I already said
Shotzi
it, and I
Botchi
already said it,
botches, you never
and I
comments
already
when
said it.
you
I
don't
already
say
said
nothing
it.
about
Look.
Shotzi
I
Botchi.
already said it. He's gonna come. Oh, you have that recorded on it, right? No, bro.
Yeah,
Come with facts, bro. Come
it's
with
facts.
facts.
I got it
You know
on
what?
Come with
video.
Wait, hold on,
facts.
wait. I do have to. I do have to agree with Ant. WWE does have their botches because
Yes, they
when
do.
Gunther was fighting Gable, there was a botch. But
They
the
do.
way they covered that botch was clever. But WWE definitely has its botches. Like there's been some botches like in the last few weeks that I've seen. I was like, all right, they botched that. Especially the women's match, they always botch it. I mean,
Yeah,
terrible.
Yeah, terrible. That's what I'm saying. When they try to
Shotzi
go,
Botchi.
when they try to go to 100 miles per hour, all right, that's not even a main wrestler. She's not even one of the main stars of the wrestling in WWE. Your main wrestlers in AEW botch. They crazy botch. The Bullet Club Gold versus Elite. What's his name? Kenny Omega's tag team partner, the Golden Lover. They were supposed
Yeah,
to do this moonsault from the back. He
I
slips.
seen that he slipped.
Yeah,
That's
that's
not his
one
fault.
botch. That's one botch. Look,
But he
and from his
recovered
main
it though.
star. And
He
from his
recovered
main
it though.
star. It's a botch still. It's still a botch.
Nah.
Then the ladder, fucking they were in the top ladder and
The
the ladder
ladder
just collapsed.
gave out,
Collapsed. The ladder collapsed, bro. And it's not like the ladder, the whole steel collapsed, man. They need better ladders. Presentation,
Because they use
production. That's all
real
you
ladders. They
need.
not like
You don't want
WWE,
to
bro.
hear this stuff, and you don't want to hear this stuff because you're like in this
Bro,
high
if
level of
a ladder
AEW,
collapsed in a ladder collapsed in TLC plenty of times.
not that much.
Yes, it has. I seen Jeff Hardy.
Not that much.
Bro,
But,
Jeff Hardy had about 8
not that
botches in a
much.
TLC match.
Not that much.
Jeff Hardy these days will botch a lot more often than he does.
Yeah, and that's why he's in AEW.
That's why AEW. Oh man! All right, but listen. Let's get back to wrap this up real quick with the not wrap it up, but just wrap up the pay-per-view real quick. So Henry, you seen you was watching the All In Pay-per-view because I've seen you in the chat. You was commenting on the pay-per-view.
Yeah, live. Yep.
All right, so Henry, so we have we pretty much covered all the matches. Me and Ant, we pretty much covered all the matches. So what did you think about the pay-per-view?
In general, man,
Yeah.
I give the pay-per-view a 8.5 out of 10. In general, there's some stuff that I didn't like. In general, I didn't rewatch it because my streaming was messing up at the end, and I had to watch it without sound. So, but I like the storytelling. The storytelling I liked in the main event. It made sense. Their match in because I just watched their match in 0 Hour, the tag team match for the Ring of Honor, and it told a story from there to the main event. That felt like a big fight feel. And I got to say this: Adam Cole made MJF a star. Adam Cole is now here. That's not Adam Cole. MJF is now here.
I've been telling you that.
MJF, no. You don't
What
understand.
you talking about?
You just been saying that because it's
I've been
AEW.
telling you that, bro.
MJF is here. MJF since he turned on Cody to now, bro. AEW has the biggest. AEW can make MJF the best, the biggest baby face of all time if they keep going this way.
He has the crowd in his hands.
Now he has the crowd.
They can. I definitely agree. They can definitely. MJ, in my opinion, out of any superstar they have on that roster, there is no doubt about it. There, in my opinion, I feel like there should be no debate that MJF is the hottest person on that roster. I think he's hotter than Kenny. I think he's hotter than Cole. I think he's hotter than what's the other guy? I think he's hotter than Punk. I think he's hotter than Moxley. I think he's hotter than every type of superstar.
Brian Daniels.
MJF, Brian Daniels. He's the hottest thing. But in my opinion, I always felt like MJF. I understand what you're saying. Like his match with Cole is like his arrival moment. I felt like MJF arrived when he won that world championship because it solidified him as being a major player. He was already destined to be a major player. I mean, his promos were like A1. He was someone to tune into AEW to watch. And I mean, if you didn't watch anybody else, just tune in just to watch MJF cut a promo on somebody or have a feud with somebody, and it's just worth the watch. But him having that title was definitely his crowning moment, and I think that what they definitely should do with MJF is ride the MJF train for a little bit. Let him hold the belt for maybe 2 years, or maybe I know for a full year. He definitely deserves that belt for a year. But if they go 2 years, I wouldn't be mad at all. But they definitely have the opportunity to build him as like another Hogan, another Flair, another Cena, another Roman, like another big guy. Like they can do that with him. Absolutely.
But that's the thing. When I say he arrived today, because he did it supposedly, because I think it's capped, supposedly 81,000 people in attendance. 81,000 people in there. That was the biggest.
107. Don't forget the 107.
No, that's capped. 81,000. I'm only guessing right now. 81,000. But it's the biggest thing they ever did in AEW. And he arrived there. That's why I say he arrived, because he did it at the main event at a big pay-per-view. And no, I mean
No, the biggest pay-per-view. Don't
no,
forget that.
the biggest pay-per-view of AEW, not the biggest, because that's
Yes, it is.
WrestleMania.
Wrestling history.
WrestleMania is the biggest of
Sir,
WrestleMania.
I'm sorry, Ant, but I have to agree with Henry.
But the largest crowd
Man.
ever.
No, bro,
The
no, it's
largest
not. The
wrestling. Yes, it
WrestleMania
is.
had 90 plus people.
WWE. I mean, AEW wasn't the only people that sold out. Wembley Stadium. I mean,
Yeah,
WWE did it first.
it's the largest wrestling crowd.
No, it's not.
Yes, it
No,
is, man.
I don't think so.
WrestleMania in Philly didn't happen yet, bro. Until
It
then,
didn't happen yet. But I think Wembley
WrestleMania
Stadium
had
was
attendance of
big enough.
100,000.
all
Yeah,
right.
it did.
Until
WrestleMania had
then,
100,000.
It did.
WrestleMania had 100,000.
Dallas?
They did it. They did it
They
multiple
did
times.
exactly.
Dallas wasn't no 100,000. Dallas was only 79.
Bro, go look at it, bro. It doesn't mean Dallas.
WrestleMania 32 was only 79,000 people.
All right,
Bro.
They said 100,000.
let's Google it. The
Look,
biggest wrestling crowd.
And it was a cap because it's a cap because when the FA final for soccer for the English soccer games is only 90,000. That wasn't even close to 90,000 surrounding there. Come on, man. This man wants to make
WrestleMania
AEW
32.
This man wants to make
79,000 people, bro.
This man wants to make AEW like the biggest, the baddest thing, bro. You gotta calm down, bro. It's second, bro. It's second.
I'm gonna just smoke my weed and just show my mind.
Okay, you guys ready?
Go ahead.
The biggest wrestling crowd events in attendance is. Drum roll, please. New Japan Pro Wrestling New Japan Pro Wrestling / WCW.
Oh yeah, I remember that show. That was like 100 and something thousand, right?
So you had 165,000.
Yeah, nothing.
That was it was a New Japan Pro Wrestling / WCW event.
They did a Dark Side of the Ring episode on that shit.
And it was what happened in that episode?
Yo, they said that shit was crazy. They said them.
No, Japan. This wasn't Japan. You talking about?
It was in Korea, North Korea. Yeah.
No, but it wasn't. It wasn't Japan, bro. Japan don't go to North Korea.
But they had something happen. They had a Dark Side of the Ring, and they said all them people was forced to go to the show, or they was gonna die. Yo, it was crazy, bro.
No, they volunteered to go into North Korea. And
yeah, but the fans,
when they were in North Korea. Oh yeah, the fans had.
The fans was forced to go to the show.
Yeah,
that's why it was all the people there.
But what was it? No, hold on. What? Go ahead and look at it. Was it North Korea?
But they were threatened by the North Korean government.
Yeah.
No, side. Look at it. Look at that one because I don't know if he's talking to the right one. Look under it. Did it say they was in North Korea?
Yeah, North Korea. Mm-hmm.
Yeah. They was forced to go to that one.
They was forced. The crowd was forced. They were threatening families.
And that was on the Dark Side. Okay,
a couple of the wrestlers almost died. Yo, you got to watch that Dark Side.
All right, so we can't count that.
You can't count that one.
They said they was treated like prisoners. Yo, they wouldn't let them go nowhere about them, so they was following them everywhere. Phone.
You can't talk bad about them.
Yeah.
What's the second one? Sai, what's the second one? All
right, so the top two are a New Japan Pro and WCW. So the actual attendance was the first one was 165,000. The second one was 100. It was marketed. A market attendance for the first New Japan Pro and WCW was marketed as 190,000, and then the second event was marketed as 165. But then that wasn't the actual number of people attended. So in actuality, the highest attended event that was actually attended was AEW's All In pay-per-view that actually happened today, which was 81,035 people. 81,035 people. And then the second place is WWE's WrestleMania 32 in Texas.
79,000?
No, it was it was 80,709. And it was marketed as 101 people that attended. So actually, yep. So they
hold on.
I would attend WWE.
Yes.
Hold on. AEW, you said attendance, but you just said market at 101.
Right. So meaning marketed means that they were telling people, hey, 100
Okay,
101,763 people showed
AEW
up,
has
but the
AEW as
actual
well.
attended seats, the actual attended people who
Yeah.
actually attended was 80,709.
So actually, what he's saying, them
But
80,000 that attended
look.
WrestleMania, it really was
AEW is
65,000.
still marking. AEW is marking 81, bro. That's still cap, bro. You can see that it
Oh
was
my
not
Okay,
god.
listen. Wait, no. So what? So all right. So what it's saying is this. Okay, so they're saying that people who actually bought seats was actually 800. It was 81,035 people that
Yeah,
actually brought seats to the AEW. That's what they're saying, right? WWE, they're saying that 80,000. They're saying that an actual attendance of people who purchased seats was 80,709, right?
but they sold
But but the,
100,000 tickets.
but the marketed attendance of people who showed up was 101,763. So that means that you had the 80,000 people who did buy seats and
Yeah,
80,000 the actual attendance of people besides the 80,000 were either staff, crew, or people who didn't purchase seats but were given seats. Could potentially,
yeah.
potentially. But but technically, in all truth, AEW has the highest attended crowd.
Thank you.
But if you technically talk about it, they can still say a number and say, yeah,
Thank you.
81,000 showed up, and in cap, it's only fucking 60,000
You
people showed
can't
up.
count. Numbers don't lie,
60,000.
bro.
Well, I
Look at
mean,
it.
AEW is counting the actual. They're saying that AEW is counting the actual. I mean, they're not saying AEW is counting actual seats. They're saying like according to seats that were purchased, that's the actual purchasing of seats. WWE is kind of capping. They're really capping on
Thank
their
you.
numbers because they're
Thank
just
you.
counting the crew and staff. This been like this kind of situation has actually been addressed
Yeah.
before, like where
Thank
they'll
you.
say
Yeah.
they'll
But
say
that's the
like
thing. But what I'm saying is, how do you not know that AEW is capping as well?
Yeah,
And
yeah, yeah.
Look, you
I
said
mean,
yeah.
they
Let's be
do
real.
auditing of the they do the
Facts. Let's do
auditing of
facts.
the
They
seat
don't
purchase.
need the cap. The talent speaks
Let's do
for
the
They do
itself.
facts. Let's
they,
do
they
the
do they
facts.
do
Let's do the
You
auditing of
facts.
gave the
the seat
show. You gave
purchase.
the show an
Facts.
8.5, right? I know you.
And WWE has a 9 out of 10 sometimes. So what are you talking about,
Yeah, you knew better.
So, but I mean, truth be told, if we're talking about like, so DJ Faye says ticket purchased is the real number or attendance, right? So those are the people who actually purchase tickets to go and see the show. WWE can have a staff of people of an extra. I mean, because we know that WWE doesn't have a staff of like 100,000 or 10,000. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
Maybe they do, but nonetheless, to add in staff members or crew members or all the people that are there, to say that they're in attendance, they are in attendance. They are in attendance. They are a part of the show, but when we look at because what we're really looking at is how many people came to actually show up who purchased tickets to actually come and watch this show.
Sorry, let me ask you this, side.
Number is 81,000 versus 80,000. So
All
AEW
right,
does win. They won as far as people who actually
records.
purchased
Okay,
tickets.
gotcha. Records. Side. Let me ask you this, side.
Yeah.
Did you watch All In?
No, I didn't get to watch it.
All right, look, watch one of those matches and look at the crowds and tell me if that was a higher crowd than anything that WrestleMania has ever done.
Anything they have ever done.
No, you're gonna see it that it's not even as much
Yes, it is.
as a crowd as WrestleMania.
This
Look
is
how much
why
he hates WWE.
This
Look
is
how much
why
he hates WWE.
WWE.
Look how tribalism he's doing. This is
Yo,
the reason why
but
I
listen
bash
though,
on
Henry.
AEW, and this is the reason why
Can I
I'm on
speak
the
though? Can
AEW
I
show, and
speak?
I'm gonna still keep on bashing
Can
on
I speak?
AEW.
Listen. Can I speak?
Man,
Listen.
look,
This is why. This is why they
look.
sent John Cena out there protesting for a show to be in London next year for WrestleMania.
Actually, he did that shit on his own.
Well,
AEW.
let me say this. Let me say this. That is the highest attended crowd that AEW has ever had.
It will ever have.
Ever and probably will ever have, right? Even though they did beat WWE in the highest attendance of a stadium, which is Wembley Stadium. That's fine, right? Because I think WWE is going to do Wembley anyway. They did Wembley in '92, and that was at SummerSlam. That was
90,000,
right.
right?
Yeah, that was like they had an attendance of 78,000. They didn't
Oh,
hit they recorded an attendance of 80,000, but the actual people who bought seats was 78,000, right? However, that is the highest and only highest crowd that AEW has ever had
And
above
will have.
WWE.
And
Yeah.
will
That's
have.
the only every other crowd, the only other crowd, only other promotion that's been able to compete with WWE on that level of high attendance was really New Japan Pro. As
Yeah.
far as
Tokyo Dome.
yeah, as far as
But
yeah, as
that's the
far as
thing. That's the thing. So they did it in international AEW. Hopefully they get to up there with. Like I said, man, I like AEW competing and going up because WWE goes up, right?
Mhm.
So in the states, AEW is not going to get that much stars, that much attendance because WWE runs USA. WWE is United States #1 wrestling company. You go to Europe or to England or wherever they do in Europe, other states like Spain, other states like France, other states that watch wrestling like German, all that are going to. It's like an hour flight for them, so they're gonna attend there compared to over here where it's only the United States. It's only one country. You get what I'm saying?
Mhm.
Like Japan does the same thing. Japan has all these other. Is Japan is just Japan for wrestling. A lot of motherfuckers love wrestling in Japan because it's different. It's their own style. It's their unique style. They combine strong style. They make Japan wrestling. They make it seem real. But if AEW does those numbers here, then I give more respect to them. But they did it in international waters.
You know what? And the truth, you know what? Honestly, for real, Henry, you actually have. I mean, and that's the truth because WWE did those numbers in America. That was in Texas. They went overseas in London because we already know like when you go overseas and you promote a show, you do a show, you're gonna have people flying from America to go across seas to go see the show, and then you're gonna have people from overseas. Um, people. I'm sorry, people in that country who haven't had WWE or don't really get WWE in their city or in their country, they're going to attend the show. It's going to be an event. But yes, WWE has done 80,000 in Texas. They've done 78,000 at SummerSlam, but that was in Wembley. They've done at WrestleMania 3, they had 78,000. WrestleMania 29, The Rock versus Cena, they had 68,000. WrestleMania 35, they had 63,000. Um, and that was in Jersey, New Jersey. Um, all the other shows, all the other WrestleManias, they pretty much fudged the numbers where they said in attendance because like WrestleMania 35, they actually had 63,000 that showed up in New Jersey in the New Jersey MetLife Stadium. That's how many people showed up, but 82,265 was reported in attendance. So they kind of fudged it a little bit, like they fudged, about 18,000 more people. You
That's a
know,
lot of people.
There's a lot of people that got to fudge a little bit. We're like, 18,000 more people. I mean, my number's a little off, but that's kind of around about
What
number
entrance
of
did
how
they?
many
What
people they kind
entrance
of
they
fudged a little
used?
bit.
Right? What entrance they used to get in the building?
DJ Faye says foreign events have more attendance because most companies don't go over there like having shows in the US. No,
Told you.
right. Exactly.
Look. I was right. Told you. Look. I came to an AEW show and I'm all right. The fans know I'm right.
No, they don't know you
Like,
right, bro.
look, they're right. What did he just say? He said the same thing I said,
He
right,
didn't say
Si?
the same thing you just said.
I said
He said it in
in
a positive
international,
way.
in international, in international land. A lot of people go over there because shows don't go over there, and there's a lot of wrestling fans. It's just not England. It's just you got the United Kingdom, you got the Spain, you got France, you got all these other like
Jamaica,
international.
No,
Listen, man,
it's true. It's true because like even when you look at the numbers, right? Like the biggest audience WWE has had in history like so in 92 like the biggest audience they had was 78,927 people, Wembley Stadium in London, right? And this is in 92. And then the only time they were able ever to beat that number 16 at in Texas, in Arlington, Texas, when they had 80,709 people, right? That's the biggest audience they've naturally had, right? AEW, the biggest audience they've ever had, ever. Like even like, and I'm looking at a list on Wikipedia of the biggest audience in attendance, and AEW only appears on this list once, and that's Wembley Stadium. But that's because they were, overseas. So it's true. It's because the events don't go over there because they don't go over there, for events or whatever. That's the reason why, like, they don't that's the reason why they don't pretty much so yeah, because they don't really go over there. That's the reason why people are attending these events, because they rarely see them. So yeah, absolutely. I can't believe the Great Khali had a show. They did a show with Great Khali. Like, they did a show with Great Khali. The Great Khali returns, and he actually had like a high attended show. And I'm trying to see where it was at.
In India, it had to be in India.
Was it in India? It was in India. It was in Dehradun, India.
He'll be on
Rajiv
SmackDown next
Gandhi,
week. I guarantee it.
Rajiv Gandhi International Cricket Stadium. So it was a stadium named after Gandhi. Now, they fudged their numbers. Brody Steele versus the Great Khali for the CWE World Heavyweight Championship. They said they
What year
reported
was that?
this was in 2016. They reported that 50,000 people showed up in attendance.
Okay.
In attendance. As far as who actually showed up, they don't give you the number. So that was fudged. Yeah. Yep. And,
But overall, it was a good show, man. It was a good show. 8.5 out of 10.
So, Henry, do you feel like you can be more of a fan of AEW?
Yeah, I like the storyline that they continued it. They I wish I watched the FTR match with the whack Young Bucks.
Yeah,
But
right.
but what I heard is that FTR, are champion. So I'm guessing. I think isn't FTR in Collision? They're gonna stay in
Yeah,
Collision. They're more Collision. So
yeah.
so basically, Collision has the real world title and the tag team titles, the world tag team titles. Don't they got
So,
the trio too, or no?
Yep.
I'm sorry, real quick. I'm just looking at something. I just want to say this last thing about these numbers. So, New Japan Pro Wrestling, they did Wrestle Kingdom 3 in 2009, right? They reported they had an attendance of 40,000 people. But guess how many people actually bought tickets?
How many?
27,500. That's a large fudge of numbers. It's large.
Yeah.
That's 13,000 people. About 13,000 people you fudged. It's a lot of people to fudge. There's a lot of people to fudge. But I'm sorry. Go ahead, Henry.
Oh yeah, I would say yeah. I mean, I would be a fan now. I would be a fan. Following it now, like their storyline. They, like I said, I like how. Actually, I thought actually the main event. I thought Adam Cole. Well, Adam Cole did kind of betray MJF, kind of. But I thought it was gonna end like that. I like how it ended. The roll up was the roll up was still bullshit. For a pay per view, like for the main event like that, it should have been a clean win. MJF should have won clean, or Adam Cole should have won clean, and they could have kept doing it.
I mean, a roll of pin. Yeah, a pin is a pin. I mean,
Pen is a pen, bro.
Yeah, pin is a pin.
No,
I mean,
roll up.
I get what you're saying, because it should have been like I get what you're saying, because it should have been like an actual finisher, and then like put him out and he's done. But
Exactly.
a pin is a pin, and a
Pen
loss
is
is a loss.
bro.
He beat him.
Yeah, but I'm saying that I'm not a fan of roll up. Roll up. It's a bullshit pin. The roll ups are a bullshit pin for a star like that. For MJF, a star like that, man. You don't see a babyface. You never saw Stone Cold do that. You never saw Hulk Hogan do that. You never saw The Rock do that. You never
British
saw
Bulldog
Roman.
did it.
No, yeah, he's not a main star. So I don't look. You can call it all these people that he thinks are. You know what I'm saying? But back to what I'm saying is
British Bulldog wasn't a main star.
Hell no, bro. Come on.
Wait. Hold on. Wait. I'm sorry. Hold on a second. DJ Faye says WWE's asking Saudi Arabia right now for the building at the stadium so they can beat AEW in attendance. They probably are.
Oh yeah,
Wait,
yeah.
hold on a second. Wait, British Bulldog. Wait, no, British Bulldog at that time. British Bulldog was pretty big in '92.
Yeah.
But he won't know face. I'm
Oh,
talking. All I named was the face of the companies. I named face of the companies, man. I ain't main like he might be the star, but he wasn't the main
Bret
star.
Hart run with a couple matches.
Brett.
Bret Hart.
You know, at the time they were building Brett to be the top guy, and that match that he fought with British Bulldog was actually it was considered like it's considered a classic match and considered a historic match because they main evented that SummerSlam for the Intercontinental title. Like
Yeah.
I can't remember like one time after that match that anybody has main evented any pay-per-views with an Intercontinental belt.
Yeah, that was the first.
Warrior and Hogan. Title for title.
But
Wasn't
that
that
was
title
the
for title?
yeah, that
That
was
was
title.
WrestleMania though. Yeah, right. And that was WrestleMania, but that was like title for title. But that was for the world title and the Continental title. And you know Hogan ain't gonna wear no Intercontinental title. He'll probably get in, just throw it away. Like Hogan's like Hogan and Taker are the only Hogan, Taker, Goldberg, and Brock Lesnar are the only people in WWE that I could think of. There's probably other people, but I can think of that never wore middleweight titles.
Ho-
Flair had the United States title before.
yeah,
He held it a few times.
Yeah.
Hogan's never wore a mid title. As a matter of fact, Hogan has never even wore a tag title.
Yes, he did with Edge, didn't he?
Nah,
he
I don't
he
think he
might have with
did.
Edge. He might have with Edge. Yeah, he might have with Edge.
Yeah.
Hulk Hogan? Nah, I don't think he
Yeah,
did.
he
Yeah, with
might have with
Edge,
Edge.
bro.
Let me
Yeah.
just find out. Hold on a second. Maybe he
I'm
did.
telling you, with Edge. He did one with
Brock
Edge.
Lesnar is the only one that hasn't hold a tag team or a mid card title. Hogan,
Yeah,
fucking Undertaker held the hardcore title.
yeah, you're
Yeah.
right. You're right. Yeah, he held it one time with Edge, which is a surprise
And
because Hogan.
Goldberg hold the United States title in
How long they held
WCW.
the titles for? Like a month?
I think so, Mo.
Did they? I think it was a short period of time, but he did with Edge, which is like a weird combination anyway, because it felt like it was like Edge is like wrestling with his like hero. That's how it felt. It was like Edge was like with his
Yeah,
teamed up with his hero. Let me see Edge and Hogan. Let's see how long they held the belt for. They held it for 19 days,
Wow.
yeah, a whole month.
and they lost to the Un-Americans. Of course, you know who got pinned, right?
Edge.
Edge.
Yeah.
So we all, so
We knew that.
So,
We knew that.
but that's odd. Like Hogan did that. You know what I mean? It's just like, but Hogan, Brock, yeah, Hogan, Brock, Undertaker, who else? Goldberg. No, I'm sorry. Why did I say Goldberg? Goldberg is not included because Goldberg had the United States title before he had the world heavyweight, so he's not
Yeah.
included.
Undertaker either because he had the hardcore
But
title at one point.
he did.
So
Then he had
Brock
the
and
year.
Hogan.
Taker had
So
the European title too at one point.
Who?
did Taker?
He might
That's a
have.
good question. He might have, right?
Might have.
And,
But yeah, he might have.
let's see. Let's find out. Hold on a second. We about to find out right now. But I do remember them holding that hardcore championship.
Yeah, he had the hardcore title for a while.
Let's see.
And I remember him and Jeff Hardy had a crazy hardcore match.
Okay.
Yeah, but that was a ladders match for the undisputed title.
Yeah, he's had the hardcore championship. He's had it. Besides the hardcore, that's the only middleweight title he's had. Like that's the only middleweight title he's had, and the only other title besides the heavyweight championship he's held. We all know he held a tag title a few times. He held it with The Rock. He held it with Austin. He held it with Big Show. He held it with Kane, of course. We know that. But yeah,
It was basically Hogan and Brock.
Yeah, so yeah, Hogan and Brock are the only wrestlers who've never held middleweight titles and were world heavyweight champions.
You know what would be? No, I'm not even gonna say because we gotta go back to AEW. I was gonna really ask for some more WWE facts because everybody loves WWE, but I don't want to like change the subject and if you want to go back to AEW,
Mm-hmm. No,
but
we
it
can go
would
back
be
to
but it would be dope that Brock Lesnar beats Gunter for the Intercontinental title.
no, that would be terrible.
That would
Yeah.
be dope for no, it would be a shock value.
Yeah, but
Him being a
Henry,
container, him fighting
please
him, huh?
I said, please explain how would that
It'll
be?
be a shock value because we never seen Brock Lesnar win the Intercontinental title. So
Who's going to be?
somebody like that, you know, winning a title is like, yo, the Intercontinental title means something now for people, for casual fans, not for the fans
Mhm.
that are die WWE, like fans that are outside of WWE or outside of AEW, outside of wrestling.
Mhm.
They see Brock Lesnar win the Intercontinental title, they're gonna think Intercontinental title is the world title.
You know what, they would, but then what's going to happen is you have somebody who's unstoppable like Brock fighting or holding that Intercontinental title, and then who takes the belt off of him?
That's the
How does he
bad
lose
part.
the
Yeah,
title?
that
The
that's
only
the bad
way
part.
the only way he'll lose that title is in a triple threat match
Yeah,
or fatal four way,
but
because
that's
no
what I'm
one's gonna
saying.
no middleweight's gonna pin him, and then even in that kind of match, he's going to be tossing everybody around.
Yeah, but that's what I'm saying. Like shock value. That's it. But and just holding that title, nah. And yeah, you like what you said. It's not gonna work. But shock value.
I mean, yeah, for shock value, but I wouldn't wait. So DJ Faze, you said Damian Priest. So Damian Priest would be what? The person who beats Brock Lesnar for the title if he beats Gunther, or are you saying Damian Priest beating Gunther for the Intercontinental title?
I think it should be.
I don't
I think it should be LA Knight.
to beat Gunther?
Yeah.
Nah. Nah. I think because LA Knight, this is the thing, right? It's LA Knight is already a star, right?
Yeah.
And the biggest caveat for heels is you build up a big enough heel to have to you build up a big enough heel to end the time you're building this big heel to build another big baby face or another baby face to come and defeat this heel so that you can give him this solidified run or solidify his character, right?
Mm-hmm.
Wait, hold on a second. He said, "Yep." He said, "Damian Priest, DJ Faze. I know you was joking. I know 100% you was joking about Damian Priest. 100%, 100%. Even if he
Dolph
had the money in
Ziggler.
the briefcase, Dolph Ziggler, I can go with Ziggler, but not." Nah, I was joking. But
Dolph Ziggler,
LA
all
Knight
elite,
get
man.
the United States title. Yeah, I would honestly prefer. I'm gonna be honest. I would definitely prefer. I would have preferred LA Knight to beat um
Seth
Austin Theory
Rollins.
for that title.
Oh.
LA Knight winning United States title is going to be it could be a good thing or a bad thing. I'm gonna tell you why, because he's going to be we already know he's a big baby face, right? Then it's like who takes the title off of him? How long does he hold the title? They may have him hold the title for a long time. Who knows how it's going to go? But one thing is that LA Knight is somebody who we know or we want to eventually win the Royal Rumble, go and fight in the heavyweight title picture. He's good. He's good. He's a good baby face. We want him to eventually have the title. But to have somebody like LA Knight beat Gunther, nah. I think that should be given to somebody like Chad Gable. It should be given to somebody like in my opinion, Matt Riddle or Chad Gable. And the reason why I say those two is the reason being is because those guys you can use to push towards the heavyweight title picture. In my
Mm-hmm.
opinion, they belong there. Chad Gable, Riddle, put them there. I want to see Chad and Matt in the heavyweight picture. Then when you have like with Austin Theory, if LA Knight would have beat Austin Theory, it would have been better because again, we're solidifying him, we're cementing him, and Austin Theory was a good heel. that you could have had a better feud or built the feud with. Because I think what they should do is have Austin Theory take that belt off of Rey Mysterio. He shouldn't have lost it in the first place. Take the belt off of Rey Mysterio, have LA Knight run a feud with Theory, and then have LA Knight take the belt off of Theory. He could have took it off of him at Mania, and that way we can position somebody else to win the Royal Rumble while we're building up LA Knight. LA Knight is already big, or he's already built, and maybe they do have the plan for him, or have a plan for him to win the Royal Rumble so that he can fight Seth Rollins. In my opinion, I feel like Seth Rollins should have lost the belt to Finn Balor. That's my opinion. Seth Rollins already had his time with the belt, or had his time with the championship, but Finn Balor never had his time with the championship. I think it would have been a better story had Finn Balor took the belt off of Seth, then have him work a feud all the way up to Mania, and then probably have Seth take the belt back, or probably have Seth take the belt back. Let Seth hold on to the belt for a few months, and then have somebody take the belt off him. In my opinion, I don't see Seth as a long-term champion. I don't.
Yeah.
I see him as like,
I think that title should be popcorn. I think that world heavyweight title that's the reason why it was brought, so that other stars can get it. So, like you said, he should have lost it to Finn Balor after 2 months of holding it. He should have lost it.
I honestly don't think they should play hot potato with it. I don't think they should, because there's some people I want to see have lengthy runs. I want to see Finn Balor with like at least a 10-month, 8-month run, or at least a year run title run with the belt. I want to see LA Knight with the belt, see how long he runs with the belt, and see how well they do it. I want to see Gunther, if Gunther wins that belt, how give him a lengthy run. I want to see other people. Like if Shinsuke Nakamura beats Seth Rollins with the belt, I'll probably be more happy with Shinsuke holding that belt than Seth Rollins.
Yeah,
because
I want Shinsuke to win.
Because in my opinion, I feel like Shinsuke has more natural charisma than Seth Rollins. Seth Rollins makes what he's doing. He just goes out there, he laughs like he's the Joker, come out wearing these weird outfits and stuff like that, and dance around, and everybody says oh. But we just talk about like Seth overall. He's a good in-ring performer, and he's just to me, he's Flash. He's not like if I'm saying like a person who's going to get on the mic and work a promo, that's Austin Theory. That's the Miz. As a matter of fact, if the Miz won the belt off of Seth Rollins, I'd probably be more happy, because he's a better.
No, I'm alright with that.
You know what I'm saying? Like, Seth is better than him in the ring.
But reaching now. Miz beat Seth.
No, Miz is, because look, think about what he's saying. It's that promo, that mic work, man.
Yeah, you could put the Intercontinental title on him. He could do that.
No, man, he needs a world title. He deserves it, man. He's been from the bottom and up. Man.
He had his chance.
He only had a world champion twice, man.
All right.
He's
Shawn Michaels only had it 3 times.
He's only helping it 3 times, man. But Shawn Michaels is a 4-time world champion. Shawn Michaels didn't want the world champion and when his last run, because he didn't want to do all those tours and all those duties, bro. But he deserves it though. Miz deserves it, man. Miz from the bottom. No, Miz before wrestling, he wanted to be a wrestler. And his you say his ring performance is good, man. He knows how to storytell. He knows how to sell. Shinsei, I don't think Shinsei should. Well, I do want him to win it, but let's be real, man. His promos only in the American market, in the U.S. market, we're gonna be like, what is he saying when he does his promos? You feel what I'm saying? Like, but it's gonna be like we're gonna be lost in translation if he wins the title and he does promos. That's the only thing that I'm scared that he when he gets the title.
We are, but I think no, and I get what you're saying. Like, that is one of the biggest challenges he will have. But what's going to be interesting is to see how they will tell a story with someone who struggles with their English. You know what I'm saying? Like, he's not the best at English, and of course he's still learning. But what makes Shinsuke Nakamura so fascinating is the fact that you still understand him. Even though, like with Asuka, right? Like Asuka's English is not that great, but she's held on to the title a few times, right?
Yeah,
so
like
why can't they do the same thing with Shinsuke? Why can't they do the same thing with him? They can, and it's just that it'll be fascinating to watch how they do it with Shinsuke, because Shinsuke has a lot. Shinsuke has he naturally has charisma. Like that's just a
I can see
natural
that.
thing with him. So I think he'll be able, like, which is interesting because as far as his charisma and how he tells a story, it's like his story with Seth is like, I know your weakness. It's your back. Like, and it's like, okay, wow, okay, well, what's that about? You know what I'm saying? Like, it's just his lack of English can add mystery to find out, even with the short things he says, he can say a lot. You know what I'm saying? And he's a great in-ring performer. He's enjoying to watch. He's interesting to watch. If we're talking about a person, like if we're talking about a person who's selling aura, right? A person who's selling charisma, and if we compare Shinsuke to Seth, I give it to Shinsuke. I give it to
Yeah,
Shinsuke 100%.
no, or yeah, I can see that. I can see that. I mean, they could also do it in anime style, translation when Shins does his promos. But I see that. I mean, it would be a mystery. But that's the only thing I'm like, what if they don't do it? We're saying that they should do it like that, but what if they don't do it? What if WWE, drops the ball with him
In what way could they drop the ball?
and his promos? Like you said, his promo delivery.
Mhm.
You know, like you said, that's the only hard because promos are like commercials, advertisement to
Mhm.
sell us the match. But if
Right.
we're lost in translation, he only has that natural aura.
Right.
You
And
know,
that's yeah. And that's true. They can drop the ball on him. They can, but they did pretty well with him when he was the king of the ring. They did pretty well with him with the Intercontinental title, and I felt like him having that Intercontinental title reign was just WWE and Vince was like Vince and the creative saying, "Well, let's just see how this would work if he was a champion." And it worked. It was like it worked. It was like okay, and they helped. They had the belt on him for a while. It was like okay, but in the back in my mind, I was just like, listen, this intercontinental thing, cool, but in the position that Shinsuke is in, it felt like this intercontinental title run should have been a world heavyweight title run rather than an IC title run. It not necessarily that it felt out of place, but it was just like you already positioned him to be destined for something more, but you didn't give him more. You gave him less than what he's really valued at. Um, GJ Faye says, you heard what LA Knight said about the Miz. You was the WWE champion. You was the undercard at WrestleMania because Cena versus The Rock was better than you having a match. You know what? And that's the crazy thing. So last time when we talked about LA Knight having that one-on-one promo with the Miz, and that he kind of like it was kind of flat. When he said what he said, then he should have said to him at that night, like and it was like, and it's like when LA Knight made that comment, it clicked because LA Knight realized, no, I should have said this to him because it felt like LA Knight probably wanted to say it, but he didn't say it. He was like, let me not do that because let me just stick to this, this little thing. But then LA Knight kind of felt he probably was taken a little bit off guard when the Miz was cutting his promo on him and saying what he was saying.
Yeah.
We didn't expect Miz to say that, but Miz said it anyway. At that
yeah,
moment, LA Knight should have just said, all right, barriers off, gloves off. I'm going in on you. Like, all right, you know what? You've been here longer than I have. You've been here longer than I have, and I've been here for a short period of time, and look how more over I am than you. Like he could have said that, He was like, you won 2 world titles, but look how but after those 2 world titles, your first world title reign was about 8 months, and that was the longest reign you had, but yet at the same time, you were overshadowed by John Cena, and your second world title reign only lasted a week.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So, he could have just brought up some interesting points and kind of, but it clicked. It finally clicked in LA Knight. He was like, you know what? Let me get at this guy real quick. And he dropped the promo. So I believe that next time they have another run in, it's going to be a little bit different. Like LA Knight is going to be like, all right, now I know what to do. Now I know, but that's where he kind of, that kind of clicked on him. It kind of clicked, and that's why he said what he said with the Miz. But my thing with the Miz is that the Miz is but again, that's what makes the Miz so great. That's what makes the Miz so great. Like in those moments, he's like, yo, it don't matter. I'm gonna out talk you. That's what Austin did. That's what The Rock did. That's what Triple H did. You know what I'm saying? That's what Jericho did. That's what Angle did. That's what Cena did. Those were
D'Lo
all
Brown.
D'Lo Brown. All the greats do it. Like they'll get on. You said D'Lo Brown.
Exactly, bro. You see, I'm trying to tell you, but look, you just go with
D'Lo
and
Brown.
say,
He's
Ed
trolling.
Ed don't know Ed don't know wrestling, man. He just saying
And
random
trolling.
shit.
He's
And
trolling.
delusional, bro. And be delusional, man.
He
And be
trolling.
smoking that delusional weed.
but you know what I'm saying? Like all the greats, they get on that mic, they like, yo, listen, I got 3 minutes on this mic to impress the crowd, to impress the crowd and to get my character across. I'm gonna make this work. It don't matter. Like, no offense, and the thing about it is, in reality, it's like, yo, no offense to you. We all good backstage, we friends, but in front of these people, I'm The Rock. In front of these people, I'm the Game. In front of these people, I'm Stone Cold Steve Austin. In front of these people, I'm Bret Hart. In front of these people, I'm Shawn Michaels. Like, when we get out there, we going in. You know what I'm saying? And it's like some wrestlers get it and some wrestlers don't. Some wrestlers they hold back. You know what I'm saying? There was a promo one time that Triple H cut on Edge. Somebody posted it in a wrestling group. That joint was, no matter of fact, I found it on YouTube. And it was like, yo, Edge went like when Edge was like the rated R superstar, he came out and he was like, I think when he won the belt, he was like, the episode of Raw where I did something, or he did something. He had a heavyweight title match. He was like, it was one of the highest rated Raws in WWE history. And then when he won the title, he had like a high rating of Raw. So somebody posted on YouTube when Triple H was running the Authority, and Randy Orton was a champion. They posted, they was like, yo, Triple H comes out, and I think Edge was like saying whatever he was saying, and Triple H came out. He's like, yeah, you talk about all these ratings and how you had the highest rated Raw and these high rated shows. He said, but you never sold a dime. He was like, yo, and I'm like, yo,
I
wow, like,
seen
yo,
that. I remember that.
he was like, never sold a dime. He was like, yo, he said, yeah, he said a lot of wrestlers come out, they have these hot moments, and they get the world title runs, and they do all these, they get these runs and da da da. He said, but then they don't pack seats. No one comes to see him. And he said, you never sold a dime. I was like, wow.
And it's true. And
Like,
it's
wow.
true.
It's very much true.
It's
It
true.
is very true.
And
It's
it's
very
true.
true.
That's why I say to Amp, man. Them like Brock stuff like Brock Lesnar's and CM Punk's. Those are the people that are coming out. As much as you hate them, as much as you don't like what he does in their contract, those are the ones that pack seats. Those are the ones that people come to see. Nobody come to see no dinosaur guy, stupid ass dinosaur man. Nobody comes to see no Jungle Book man.
Yo, you're
Nobody comes to
lying.
see
They
nobody.
had a
Don't see no. Look.
listen. Listen,
Now
listen.
now he's trying to give me no facts. Look,
They
no
popped
facts.
when Luchasaurus came out today.
That's not what I mean. 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 I mean, he doesn't sell a dime. He doesn't buy seats.
Bro, he's the
Anybody can
greatest
come by.
TNT champion ever, bro.
Yeah, he doesn't draw a dime. Like, my bad, I said sell a dime. He doesn't draw a dime. Right? He like, yeah, like MJF. He's gonna draw money. He's money. They keeping CM Punk in that position because CM Punk is drawing money. When CM Punk came back, that shirt was hard to buy. People buying those ice cream bars. They're buying it. But right now, with his beefing backstage, the truth of the matter is CM Punk has a cult. He has a cult already. So people are gonna buy into him. They're gonna sell. He's gonna make some money. He's gonna still sell because, again, he's already built the cult. What he did in history, that whole thing he did with John Cena, that pipe bomb. Those moments were great. But again, at the end of the day, that Triple H prophecy will always ring true as to what he said. He was like, Punk, you go around, you blame everybody else for all these for why you didn't get the advantages, or why you didn't get the top spot. And Triple H said to him, he says, out of all the people in the backstage, he said, you've been given more advantages than they have been, and yet you're still complaining about advantages that you haven't gotten. And he said, you've had more title reigns, more title opportunities than all these other guys, and yet you're still complaining about what you still ain't get. and then Triple H today, you're going to have to take a look in the mirror and realize who is stopping who. And he was like, because if you don't realize what you have, you're going to lose it all. And that's what's happening. Like in this point, CM Punk worst enemy is CM Punk. Because when you get to that status, when you get to that place, your worst enemy will only be you, because only you can stop you. Only thing you got to do is keep moving and keep what you're doing up. But at this point, you know what I'm saying? Like, you know, he's he's gonna stop him. But as to that point of drawing a dime, it's like I mean, CM Punk, he gonna draw money, but the only way that money's gonna stop is if CM Punk stops CM Punk.
Yeah.
Only CM Punk can stop CM Punk. People could CM Punk, they could throw whatever shots they can at CM Punk. CM Punk does not have to have a great relationship with everybody backstage. Only thing he has to do is say hi, bye, talk about whatever match they're doing, whatever spot they're working, and keep it strictly professional. He don't have to get personal. If somebody feels like this and that, or if they feel like they want, like Jungle Boy want to do a spot with glass, he like, all right, you want to do a spot with the glass? All right, we can do a spot with the glass, but I ain't getting hit with no glass. You get hit with the glass, but I ain't get hit with the glass. You know what I'm saying? Or he could compromise in some capacity. You know what I'm saying? But for the most part, everything don't have to be a fight with him. Because the only thing he has to do is just show up, give us a great show, and we'll love it. Show up, cut an excellent promo on whoever he's contending with, and we'll love it. And he'll continue to draw money because he already has a cult following. People already believe in him. The only person that can stop that man is that man at this point.
And he almost did. But look, he came back, and people are still coming to look for him. One thing I do say is, I guess he has in his contract, I guess he has creative control of Collision. So if Jungle Book didn't like it, he could have done it in Dynamite.
Jungle Book.
So that he could have done that glass part. That was Dynamite's fault right there. No, Dynamite, Jungle Boy's fault. He should have been like, all right, we're not doing it here. Can I do it in Dynamite? And that's the only thing that he should have done. But you going, it's like me trying to argue with Hulk Hogan in the WCW era, or with Kevin Nash. I'm gonna lose. Jericho lost. Jericho lost against Goldberg. When Goldberg was hot in WCW, Jericho lost with that fight. They're gonna side with somebody that's drawing money than somebody that's in the mid card.
Right.
Somebody that's selling, that's selling seats and shit. And that's what what's his name? Jack Perry? That's his name, right? Jungle Book.
Yeah.
Jack Perry. That's what he did. That's what he fucked up right there. He should have waited. He should have went to Tony and like, all right, let me do it in another thing. And that shot he took, that's another thing AEW does, is that shot they took. Like, it's not always get the last word, man. They just got to be professional.
So what shot?
So in the match with Hook, they did a spot on a car, on top of a car, and he goes, "This is real glass." He knocked the windshield. He tapped on the windshield. He said, "This is real glass." And then he suplexed, or Hook suplexed Jungle Book. And then that's the reason why Punk and Jungle Book got into the fight today. See that? You see what I'm saying? Those shots. CM Punk does those shots too. Everything doesn't have to be shots, man. And AEW needs to learn that and be professional, because all it does drama.
Right. Facts.
Drama sells tickets, yo.
No, bro, not that type of drama, man. Not that type.
Well, it does, but if it's not controlled, then if it's not controlled and it's not a mutual, if it's not a mutual compromise between the two parties, then of course, like it's always going to spiral out of control. Like it's going to spiral out of control to where, somebody's like, all right, you cross the line out here and in front of all the people, you shouldn't have did that, but guaranteed, if CM Punk runs a feud with Hangman, people gonna want to see it.
Yeah.
He runs a feud with Moxley or with any one of the EVPs or even Kenny Omega, people want to see it. But right now, Tony is keeping them separated until he can work something. I guess eventually work something out with them. But if he doesn't work anything out with him, it'll just be drama.
And it's not worth it. You feel me?
Because, yeah,
And this is the thing. This is the thing. And sometimes Key does the same thing. Y'all don't take responsibility of the error that AEW does. Like us, like me, Shy, and Jay. Everything WWE does, we're accountable about that, and we say, yeah, they do. Y'all don't see nothing wrong with AEW.
I
That's
never
one
said I
thing why
never
I keep.
seen nothing wrong with AEW.
But what I just said, drama, and you said, oh, drama sells tickets.
It does though.
No, it doesn't, man.
Yes,
Nobody
it
wants to
does.
see drama. The drama that doesn't work out. Like a drama that works out, like Shawn Michael and Bret Hart. We knew they had drama, and it worked out, and they were professional.
Yeah,
They
but
went.
it
What's the
sold
difference?
tickets though.
But
actually,
professional.
that drama between Brett and Sean didn't really work. That
It didn't.
didn't work out because they in the beginning it did when they were doing the Heart Foundation versus DX and they were doing that whole little angle, but then it spiraled out of control when Vince didn't see any more value in Bret Hart to the point where he was just like, I just want him to leave. And then that's when the whole Montreal screw job happened. That's when the drama spiraled out of control. But when Vince McMahon realized, like, you know what, if I just own what's happening and market it to people because people like what's real. Because remember, at that time, what was happening and what was real, and if you broke kayfabe, you broke kayfabe, and it was like that was a big no-no. That was unprofessional when you broke kayfabe because kayfabe was supposed to be the barrier between reality and fantasy, right? But then when WCW started to break that barrier and say, listen, let's sell the drama and break that barrier of kayfabe, but just control it to whereas we keep that realism. When Vince McMahon seen the value in it, that's when Vince McMahon, at that moment when he had that issue with CM Punk, allowed him to drop that pipe bomb and say, you know what, let him talk. And then when he let him talk, he was like, you know what, when he comes back, he's going to sign the contract, but we'll make it seem like he didn't sign the contract. He beats John Cena at SummerSlam. He runs off with the belt. He may go to TNA. We know he ain't going to TNA. And then he comes back, has this match against John Cena for the belt, wins the belt. We'll have Alberto Del Rio cash in on him. We'll do a whole summer of Punk because he's hot. We'll make money off him. We'll sell it. That's when Vince understood, like, you know what? Let's sell this because the fans want something different. They want something new, something fresh. So Vince knew how to control the drama. But when it becomes out of hand or when the drama gets out of hand, like in the instance right now, what's going on with AEW and CM Punk and the talent, if Tony Khan is not controlling it and not making something out of it and say, listen, I know you got this problem with Jack Perry. We know this is in the news. I want you and him to go out there. You're gonna run a feud and be professional about it.
Yeah.
If you can't do that, I don't need you.
Facts.
You know,
And like
because it's supposed to be sports and entertainment.
and like I said, drama. Yeah, if y'all say drama sells tickets or sells, like he says, Ant says, but that's just one thing. That's just like a cheap. That's a cheap. That's just cheap. Like it's like it comes and then it goes. After they say, let's say the drama with Jack Perry, people tune in for that drama and they don't see nothing is progressing with that. Like they're gonna tune out.
No, they're not, because you don't know if maybe something else might catch their eye.
Right. I mean, well,
that's the thing. Drama is not like if they professionally do it, like what I was saying, if they professionally do it, yes. But if this is the drama it's constantly doing, look what happened. Look what happened with when the CM Punk and the Elite. Let's be honest, AEW kind of went down until they figured shit out. Or even with that MJF, I don't know if that was planned or not, where he had beef with Tony. But when MJF came back and they used that drama, they used that drama in that program, they made MJF, okay, he's a big star now. He's really a big star now. You know, because Tony, you know, I don't know if it was planned, if it was a work or it was a shoot, but with this CM Punk stuff, CM Punk with Hangman, just bruh, sometimes you don't have to do that. Sometimes just be professional, like Jack Perry or even CM Punk, man. Just don't shoot, bro. What's the point? Sometimes, and what pisses me off about AEW is that they like to shoot a lot on WWE. They talk shit about WWE.
Right.
Like, you don't have to do that to get over. Like you said, if they have good ring competition, then let it show it in the ring, and not talk about. That's the only reason why I bash AEW fans is because they talk shit about WWE, saying AEW is better than WWE. Now, if they were both head to head, if they were both came out at the same time, then I'll probably be like, all right, I can agree with you maybe, or this and that. But you talk about a company that's only 5 years old,
They're not
saying it's
5 years old yet.
they're about to be 5 years old. They came out in what, 19?
No.
No, they 2019 or 2018, I think. It came out in 2018. It's about 5 years. It's almost five, or if you want to be technical,
Really?
4 years.
Is it
It's
really?
about to
Is
be
it
four
really?
years. It's about to be. They just
4
had
years?
their third year. They just had their 3rd year anniversary. It's about to be 4 years.
No, bro. They 30-year anniversary. They didn't come out in 2020. They
They
came
had
out in
their third. They had
2019.
their 3rd year Dynamite. I'm telling you, they came out 2020 because I was in prison when they came
Go
out.
ahead. Go ahead. How much you want to
All right,
bet?
are we about to find out right now?
How much you want to bet? It's probably 4 years or 5 years.
About to find out right now. To find
I think they
out.
came on like December
Oh, yeah.
2020 or something.
They came out January. They started January 1st, 2019. 4
Oh,
years.
Told
well,
you. Told you. Look. He
I
claims he's
thought it
an
was
AEW
2020.
fan. He claims he's an AEW fan.
I thought it was
And bro,
2020.
no, bro. 2020 is when the pandemic hit, bro. They didn't start it when the pandemic hit. They started in 2019. Technically, they started in January 1st of 2019 because that's when the seed started planning for AEW. Because I remember that promo in Being Elite where everybody was out there, Hangman, the Young Bucks, and the Elite. They looked at the clock, and when the clock hit 12, it says AEW, All Elite. But that's the thing. Why I'm saying, like, if the company was there when WWE showed up, or 10 years, or they've been 20 years in the game, then I could be like, all right, I know what you're talking about. Maybe they are better than WWE. But a 4 year company can be better than WWE or be neck to neck with WWE? Hell no, man. Hell no. Hell no.
I mean, they have what. This is what I will say about that is that, and we got to wrap this up because we about to go in 2 hours. Is that when it comes to AEW and fans saying that AEW is better than WWE, AEW definitely has the potential to be as good or better than their competition, WWE. They are not direct competition to WWE yet because they're not able to sell out the venues that WWE are able to sell out. They can sell in venues. They can get 10,000, they can get 15,000, but they ain't hitting the 50s and 40s right now. And that's when like when they hit in the 50s and 40s, that's when they're direct competition.
Yep.
Um, and that's at their big shows. Like their biggest show was all in right now. That's the best they've done, and that's because it was overseas.
Yep.
As far as like them being in competition, like AEW has to copy WWE's formula as far as to be direct competition. Reason being is because WWE wrote the blueprint on sports and entertainment. They are the blueprint. You know what I'm saying? That was Vince and Hogan's whole collaboration. Like that's what made wrestling big because of Hogan and Vince. You know what I'm saying? Like that sports and entertainment situation, like they have to like the big production and coming out and Hogan, you was in the movie as his wrestling and Thunder Lips. All right, so we're gonna do WrestleMania and it's gonna be the biggest wrestling event around. It's gonna be bigger than it's going to be bigger than what they do in the South. Like that was the whole idea of WrestleMania is to showcase the biggest wrestling event, to produce the biggest wrestling event ever, and that was Vince's brainchild. And from there, Vince said, "You know what? Let me keep pushing the production quality because if if I can make every Monday Night Raw look like a WrestleMania 3, or make it as good as the last WrestleMania, then I want to make the next WrestleMania bigger than the last WrestleMania and the Monday Night Raw. You know what I'm saying? So, and that's how he kind of pushed it. And he always pushed the production quality. Like I remember, like even like in 1 year's time frame, I remember them changing the what's it called, the Titantron, like at least 3 or 4 times, just
On Raw,
because.
right?
Yeah, on Raw. Yeah, like I think it was like maybe I don't know. I forgot what year it was, but they did it at 1 year, maybe, and I think it was probably in the time span of like 3 years. They like literally changed the Titantron like 3 or 4 times. It was just like, yo, why do they keep changing the Titantron? But you could tell he was just trying to get something bigger and better, bigger and better. Like, let's try this, let's try that. And again, it's pushing the production quality. That's what Tony Khan has to do. And if Tony Khan doesn't have that vision of pushing the production quality, AEW will always be seen as a high produced indie wrestling promotion. And the funny thing about it is like that's how it's really being kind of promoted, a high end indie promotion. Like, we're going to give you good production, but most of our talent relies on indie circuits and indie wrestling to show you that this is where the best wrestling comes from, or the best.
Indie
Right.
fans too.
Right, indie fans as well. And that's what they're doing. And that's a good perspective to come from. But if AEW just says, you know what, let's do it like how those guys are doing it. And the funny thing about it, and remember those conversations we had when AEW first came out, I was like, yo, I hate the venue design. They need to change it. They need better lighting, they need a better venue. What did they do? They literally changed their whole venue just like WWE. Titantron is better. They even got around the side of the top, just like WWE. It literally looks just like it's sort of the lighting looks just like WWE. Once they start changing that logo a little bit and getting something a little bit more cleaner, a little bit more cleaner. When they start, and then they start, and they and because I think in WWE they have people who backstage who do costume designs,
Yeah.
and they design them. And I think I've seen in a few shows, like there's a lady, one of the ladies, like she'll like they was like, oh, and they'll go to the lady, be like, hey, can you design da 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 for me? She'll be like, all right, and she'll sew it that day or sew it during the week, and then give them their design on that and give them their costume on that show. If they got somebody that's doing their logos and doing their designs and doing a rebranding of the characters to make them a little bit more polished, that's the only, and like the production, the costumes, and just having them work on their promos being a little bit more stronger, or having them, because AEW needs to hit a golden era. They haven't hit a golden era yet.
They haven't hit it yet.
And the reason why, and what I mean by golden era is like in WWE, when they were WWF, when Hogan was champion, you had Coco Beware, you had Mr. Perfect, you had Rick Rude, you had Million Dollar Man, you had Macho Man Randy Savage, you had all these charismatic wrestlers that
Red Rooster.
Red Rooster, all these people, like when you tuned in and you seen them cut a promo, they had so much charisma. It was just like, well, what is this guy gonna? What is this guy gonna do? What is he gonna do? What's gonna happen here? It's like it just it pulled you in because of all this charisma. Like AEW needs to hit a golden era, and they haven't hit that yet. They haven't hit that yet. They will. They will eventually.
Eventually, but not soon.
If they get out of this
trying to be different in WWE.
This pure wrestling phase,
and it's not pure wrestling, because, like you said, wrestling is only in the Olympics.
In Olympics, in high school, like when we took like Sean, like right. My bad, Henry. But Sean saying what he's saying, I'm like, Sean, whatever. Sean, whatever. Sean ain't here, so I ain't gonna say nothing. But when Sean get here, I'm gonna chew him out. But if he decides to come, but the fact of the matter is, pure wrestling, Greco wrestling, which is Greek wrestling, Brazilian jiu-jitsu, judo, Olympic wrestling, wrestling done in high school, collegiate wrestling, all state, all American. That's wrestling. You know what I'm saying? I have a younger cousin who used to wrestle all state, and he wrestled in upstate New York. He wrestled in high school. high school, and I don't think he did college, but I think he did college, but he wrestled in high school. But that's wrestling. That's pure wrestling, right? These, like, you have fans who think pure wrestling is, oh, like this guy, he's doing all these stunts and he's doing all this technical stuff like Bret Hart and like Daniel Bryan and Chris Benoit, like, oh, the technical wrestler, oh, he's a real wrestler. Like, no, that's great sports entertainment technical wrestling. But a real wrestler is what Kurt Angle used to do when he fought for that gold, when he wrestled for that gold medal.
Brock
That was
Lesnar.
real wrestling. That's
Gable Stevenson and all that. Yeah.
right. So when AEW comes out of this phase of saying, oh, because those indie guys, when we wrestle, we really get technical. It's like when they get out of that phase and just really come to the understanding, like, sir, you're in the sports entertainment business of wrestling. We don't knock what you're doing as wrestling. It's just that you're doing sports entertainment wrestling. The injuries are real. We respect the sport. We love it. It's great. But to have this, like, this hardened mindset, like, yo, like, that's why I like Samoa Joe. Because Samoa Joe knows Samoa Joe will go in the ring. He'll give you a great wrestling match, but he'll get on the mic and give you one of the best promos you ever got. That's why I love him, because he's so well-rounded. Like, he gives you both. He understands it. He understands it. He was like, yo, this is sports entertainment too. Like, and that's what happens. Wrestlers get in the ring and they keep. That's why some wrestlers fail. Like Will Ospreay. I'm gonna say this last thing. Will Ospreay shouldn't sign with WWE. I'm gonna tell you why. I heard him cut a promo. I heard his voice. I was like, he can't do it. He wouldn't survive. He'll be another Ricochet. All talent in the ring, no talent on the mic.
That's true. That is true.
His voice, he doesn't have the voice. He doesn't have the. He could build a character. He could build a persona, but it's going to take him some time to find that persona. You gotta have something. You gotta have charisma. You gotta have personality that sells. You know what I'm saying? So a lot of people, some guys are great in the ring, but when you put that mic in their hand, you know, it's just like, all right, like, where did your like all the personality just like fades out of their body. Like, you know, like somebody splashed water on a painting. Like, all the color just fades off of them. You know what I'm saying? So if AEW masters that, and that's what makes MJF so good. Charisma. You have a personality you can attach yourself. This guy's an a-hole. This guy is a certified heel. I know the direction he's going. He's telling us what he wants out of his character and his persona, and he's giving it to us. You know what I'm saying? But that's what makes him work. And that's what AEW needs to get a hold of. If they don't get a hold of that, then they'll just be a glorified, they'll be a high promoted indie circuit.
And that's my last word before we wrap up too. My last words with that, like Stone Cold said, Stone Cold doesn't like the term sports entertainment. He calls it professional wrestling. But all professional wrestling is sports entertainment. If you do entrance, you do promos, those are sports entertainment. If you want to do just wrestling, then they won't have no entrance and they would just wrestle, no promos. The only time you would promote is like every other sport. Nowadays they say boxing and MMA is kind of like sports entertainment because, you know, they try to sell the fight. They try to do this shit and promote, and when in the press conference they try to promote the fight, they talk shit. But then after the match, you know, they shake hands and be like, you know, it's just business. But if you would talk about wrestling like you said, then indies don't even do wrestling. If indies don't do promos, then maybe that's more wrestling. But calling it we don't know wrestling because we like sports entertainment, AEW is doing sports entertainment. They're not doing a good job at it, but they're just doing sports entertainment. You know, they're not. Let's be real.
All right.
But it's not saying that they won't. Not saying they won't. I'll give them 10 years. Yeah. Look at TNA. TNA almost was there, and they fucking went down. TNA was almost there. TNA made me believe that they could actually be AEW.
That's true.
Because they didn't have the money, because they had the talent. They had the fucking talent, and they didn't even botch that much. They had talent. They had AJ Styles, Christopher Daniels, Samoa Joe, Kurt Angle boosted up, Sting boosted them up. Man, they had the talent, but that's my opinion. If like you say, Si, if they work on that, they'll be up there. And this is a good sign. All In was a good sign. All In was a good sign. Now I'm giving All In I'm giving AEW a challenge. If they can do that shit in the States, then they would shut me up.
We'll see.
Ed, you got any last words before we wrap up?
Uh, nah, man, just great night, great week of wrestling. Rest in peace, Bray Wyatt. We lost one of the greatest in minds in wrestling ever. The greatest wrestling mind, one of the greatest wrestling minds ever. We lost, so it's a tragic week. And then to have all in the same week, and then Terry Funk too as well. And yeah, man, like we back, man. Catch Cy and Maine on Tuesday, right? Y'all go live on Tuesday, right?
Yeah, we're gonna go live on Tuesday. Yes, guys, you can catch us live on Tuesday at 8 o'clock, and then also you can catch Ant. He's gonna go live next month. He's gonna be recapping Collision, AEW or AEW, and then we go live on Friday.
What's that? This next week, Thursday? This Thursday coming up, right?
No, next week.
We'll
I think
discuss
next week.
to see when we'll discuss. We'll discuss to find out what because I gotta put all the material together so we can start like promoting everything. But yeah, we're gonna sign off.
You can also catch me and Trav on our debate show coming soon to this channel. Coming real soon.
Yes,
Y'all
sir.
better have your popcorn ready.
Oh yeah, for that.
Yes, sir. So Henry and Mr. Trav will be having a debate show talking about hot wrestling topics or bringing us some great topics, and we'll be bringing that to you guys soon. So we're going to be signing out. And take us away.
Yeah, man, you already know, man. Y'all have a good night. Rest in peace, Bray Wyatt. Tell the closest ones to you, man. You love them, man, because you never know life is too short, man.
Yeah, R.I.P. Bray Wyatt. And I'm signing off, Saheem the Dream.
And I'm your boy, the big bad booty daddy, aka
the big bad booty daddy. You know when he was coming. I was waiting. When it was going to come, but I came. We came. When it was coming.
And the villain, the Venom, and Duce signing out.
Yes, sir. Mr. Duce and Duce, and we will see you guys later. Peace.
Yeah.